So I was scrolling one night and there you were.
Hmm.
And I don't know what it was that resonated with me so much, but I got tired of doing what I was doing. I was tired. What I was doing wasn't working. And so I took a big shot in the dark.
Gotcha. So we spoke. We had our phone call. It's funny. I've some people that afterwards they'll say the first time I spoke to you, Lance, I thought you were an asshole. And I tell
Oh,
them I'm like, listen, I go, you have to appreciate. I'm just being straightforward with you. This is not a magic trick. It is hard. I am going to push you. All workouts are hard. That's the point. And I want to make sure that no one ever starts me in la la land thinking it's some kind of magic trick. So I know sometimes when I speak to people, I can appear to be a little curt or overly straightforward. So I'm curious myself here, actually. When we had our conversation, Marion, what made you, you came across me on Facebook, but once you had our conversation, what made you decide to take a leap of faith once you and I actually spoken? What was it about our conversation that made you feel like it was worth taking a shot here after we actually spoke?
um, I can honestly say it was a pleasant surprise because it's not how you came across on Facebook in your posts. You
Hmm.
didn't. You were. It was different the way it was presented, and what I liked is that you were real,
Hmm.
and I liked that you were firm and you were a coach, but you weren't mean.
Good, good. I don't think I'm mean.
No, and so I guess I'm super sensitive. I will work my ass off for a good coach.
Hmm.
I will.
And you
I
did.
am coachable, but when you paint me in the corner or you know use things that trigger me to to make me keep going,
Hmm.
you are empowering.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm glad to know that you didn't think I
You
was,
are
you
empowering. You
know,
are.
too
And
mean.
and we all know that everybody has their challenges and
Yeah.
it's not about how hard you get hit. It's about
Hmm.
how hard you get hit and you get back up
Yeah.
and you help people get back up. And I don't know how to explain what I felt. There's always the energy.
Hmm.
There's the how honest your face is, how honest your body language is, how your voice sounds, how and really I didn't scroll through and look at comments and things. I wanted to judge for myself. And I knew right away when we first started that I was in the right place.
Awesome.
I
Okay.
don't
Good. So I'm curious. Okay, so you took a leap of faith in me, and look, I tell people this is not a magic trick. It is hard, and it is challenging, and it does require consistency. So I'm curious. Once we actually started, once you decided to come with me for a journey here, how long did it take you before you knew at some level, biologically, the way you felt, the actual results? How long did it take you into the program where you're like, it's very clear something is happening at some level? How long did it take you into the program where you knew that you're getting results that are real? Wasn't, again, I appreciate the leap of faith, but at what point
yes.
did you know this is going to work?
I could tell after my first couple of workouts that I was feeling empowered,
Hmm.
that I felt like I had control of myself finally. I had a tool.
Hmm.
It might look funny to somebody in my house that I'm running around the house in the morning and I'm
This
listening
is
to this
true.
music and saying these things, but
Yeah, yeah.
I this is my
Yep,
house and I can do what I want to. But
true.
I loved being able to have a reason to get up and it was to do something good for myself.
Hmm.
And I hadn't been able to do that for a really long time. And when I started to really feel better, uh, there was the ups and the downs, I suppose. And the anniversary of Max's death was a pretty rough week. But I was really glad I started when I did because I had that under my belt, that tool, I'm going to call it a tool
Hmm.
to use to regulate myself, to bring myself back down because I was to the point where no one knew what to do with me. I didn't know what to do with me. And I honestly, I knew within the first couple of days, I remember just getting up excited and ready to jog, and I loved the music. I'm such an 80s kid, and so the Eye of the Tiger is my song.
Good, good, good. So once we start working together and we're engaged, how would you describe your experience with me? Again, I know I tell people like, I know when we start, I'm essentially a stranger. I get that. But as far as what you expected, what you expected versus what what you got, how would you describe for other people that are considering taking a leap of faith as far as what they could expect as far as my level of engagement?
To understand that you're not alone,
Mm-hmm.
that you are there
Mm-hmm.
if we really, really need you.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, you want us to try to help ourselves. You've given us the tools and we have to do the work. But there are some times or some triggers or some just undoing that rewiring.
Mm-hmm.
It's not simple.
Nope.
And
Nope.
you can't coach somebody unless you've been through it. And
Yep.
and I like that part, that everybody's pile of poop is different for sure, but
Mm-hmm.
we all get in the same situation of the self-doubt and the horrible talk. And it was awesome to be able to reach out to you on my worst days. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was going to die. I just wanted to die.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't. You said, you got this. You've got this, Marianne. You
Mm-hmm.
are doing great. Not too shabby considering,
This is true.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And what a relief it was to have someone that didn't know who I was,
Mm-hmm.
didn't know my background, to be able to say to me, and why would I take the words of a coach or a stranger, but I did.
Mm-hmm.
And to believe what you said, just, oh, it's so empowering. Because
Mm-hmm.
honestly, when we come to you, we know we can do it.
Mm-hmm.
We want to change. We want to do something different. We
Mm-hmm.
just need a little, like a guardrail or something. I don't know how else to say that.
Just a little support, a little support.
Yeah.
Understand,
Yep.
anyone listening here, what Marion's referring to is this is not easy. This is not a magic trick, and I
No.
understand that. So
Hmm.
I'm more than happy for people like Marion. You had such a great attitude. You were a pleasure to work with. For people like Marion who are very willing to take coaching, work hard. I'm more than willing to go above and beyond. So what Marion is basically referring to, I believe, you tell me, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth here, that we did have challenges, but when we did, I'm always happy to give that extra support because I do
Yes.
understand this is hard. For anyone who considers reaching out to me here, I'm literally going to help you fucking undo
Yes.
decades of negative programming. And I understand when I work with somebody who's been living a certain way for decades, it is hard literally changing the way you go about your life, the way the process, that conditioning, that strengthening. So I understand that it's a little challenging. So I'm always happy to give people that extra support they need when they're doing something that is literally the exact opposite of how they live their life for many, many years. I always tell people I'm a different kind of personal trainer, and I take people to a different kind of gym. In that gym, there's a workout aspect, if that's the analogy.
Yep.
And there's also a diet aspect. And in the classic sense, workouts and diets are challenging. So in my brain gym workout, I'm more than happy to give people the support they need to make sure they get to experience what was always available to them.
Yes.
And I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. That
No.
describe the kind of support that I give?
Yeah, no, that was awesome.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what I do.
And and on the really bad days, I
Mhm.
love that I was able to talk to you because you could talk me down to at least to where I could concentrate
Mhm.
on my slides and do my boost and just breathe
Mhm.
and know that tomorrow's going to be better. Today was one of those days. And one of the things you said, I am so glad you're having this day while we're coaching together and not after we
Yep.
were done. And you learn by doing.
Mhm. Yep.
And I am just so grateful because this works.
Mhm.
You can, there's so many other things out there to do and people to talk to, and this works. It's the best thing that I've ever done. It's better than any vitamin.
Good. I
And
like
I
it.
really liked
That's,
one
that's gonna be
day.
the quote for that's gonna be the quote for the video. This is better than any vitamin.
Yeah. 100%
Mhm.
better and able
Mhm.
to carry out even the most difficult day.
Mhm.
The conversations I'm still working on. I'd rather just not say anything
Mhm.
and be able to think about it for a little bit. But I think that in itself is a skill as well.
Mhm.
So now I remember what I was going to say. It
Okay.
was about when you're having a really bad day and all you're doing is concentrating on getting through that day. But you had said, this is one of the goals of this program is to unwind you all day long.
Mhm.
Because I've been having a horrible time sleeping. Like there was no sleep.
Mhm.
And when I was asleep, I really wasn't. And so
Mhm.
that perpetuated everything.
Mhm.
And yes, I am finding myself sleeping. Huh. And I'm not having bad dreams.
Mhm.
I'm waking up pretty rested, you
Mhm.
know, but
Because
that's a
you're uncoiling
lifetime.
that coiled spring, like
Yes.
to live
Yep.
life. Yeah.
Yes. And I've always been that way. I can remember as a little girl, I couldn't go to sleep.
Mhm.
And then when you get dysregulated or you get stressed, you get tired, you get sick, it compounds it. And now I have a tool and I now I know what to do in the dark instead of sit there and
Yeah.
worry and worry and worry.
Mhm.
No, it's awesome. I love being able to unwind myself, and that resonates really a lot with me.
Awesome. So a couple last questions here. And this is great for everyone to hear. When people do the full version of the program, they do what I call the premium option. As you know, Marianne, I give you calls will have for life. You know that.
Yeah.
When I told you that even after you graduate, you'll have calls you can use next year, 10 years, I'll be here a long time. If knowing
You
that
better.
I will be, knowing that you have these calls forever and knowing there is no part two or part three, how does it make you feel confidence wise to know that you have something with a true lifetime warranty, so to speak? To know that this is exactly what I told you it's going to be from the beginning. And now that you've experienced it and still know that as great as you're doing, you still have the ability to reconnect me for life. To know that you have it,
Because,
make you feel about your ability to really live life at the level you deserve.
well, and I'm team oriented. I'm a
I am
team person.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. So belonging to a team that's like-minded and going in that same way, knowing that I have something to fall back on when
Mhm.
I have never felt that way. I
Mhm.
always thought it was myself that I had. And sometimes yourself isn't enough. And
Mhm.
we always have you. And we always can go back and look at our slides. And I bet we can email you and ask for an updated password for videos that you think might fit us.
Mhm.
I I I am so relieved. It's a relief to know that I'm going to be okay.
You'll be more than okay. Marion, I give you my word. If you keep doing what I put in front of you, you know your three things. You don't have to say it here because you did the program. You do your three things, do it every day, every day, every day, every day. You will be amazed where you're at in a few months, amazed you're at in a year. This is only the very beginning. And to anyone who listens to this call here, and by the way, for anyone who's listening and is finally ready to take the plunge, just go to refocus, refocus on happiness.com. Feel free to reach out. We can have a conversation you probably should have had a long time ago. But what I was referring to, Marianne, is when people do the program, I give people a couple calls they can use for life. And for anyone who's considering doing something here rather than the conventional ways, try to get from your therapist or counselor lifetime calls. That's not going to happen. But the reason I'm able to give them to people like Marianne is because I know as long as Marianne keeps doing what I put in front of her, she won't need them. It's there just for peace of mind. Try to get a counselor or therapist or classic psychologist to give you that level of assurance. That's not going to happen. So, last
And just talking about it that way with a therapist, that only what's the word I want to use? Triggers you. To
Mhm.
me, it does not resolve. I
Nope.
want to be able to resolve this right now. I don't want to feel like this, so I can go on and live
Yep.
my life
Mm-hmm.
in a healthy way.
Mm-hmm.
Not normal, because what is normal, but in a healthy way.
Mm-hmm.
And when you work with the public, you don't want them to know how you're feeling that day. You want them to know that you feel great every day, that you
Mm-hmm.
never have a horrible day. And you could be having the worst day, but honestly, the energy you're putting out there, you have helped us build ourselves up before we even get there.
Mm-hmm.
I like that, being able to make sure that I'm ready for the day. I I'm fucking Wonder Woman. I am.
You are. You are.
I have that vision in my head, the
I love that. I
outfit
love that
and
you
the
said it
little
like that.
bracelets
Yeah,
and
that's exactly who you are.
yep.
You've stepped in your power, and like I said, you'll just get even better at it.
And Rocky Balboa. Yeah, pretty muchly there too.
I like the fucking Wonder Woman. I think
Yeah. Okay, I like
let's
Wonder
stick with
Woman
that.
too.
Let's stick with that. We can
Yeah.
like the Eye of the Tiger, but I had another person graduate years ago, and she still texts me every few months or so. Wonder Woman here.
Oh,
Yeah, it's pretty
well,
awesome. Yeah,
I'll
but
be Wonder
anyway,
Woman from
um,
Wyoming. How's that?
great. I love it. So last question. It's an open one. If you have anything, is there anything else you think you'd like to share that, or any, you don't, no pressure. Is there any other last little comments, anything you'd like to share? Maybe that you think someone who's going through a challenge like yourself might need to hear? Is there anything that just kind of sparks you might want to share, as far as your experience, the program, to someone who might be going through something just like you went through and is listening to this call right now?
To follow your gut. If your gut says do it, do it. Don't deny yourself a wonderful life.
Mm-hmm.
Do not deny yourself anymore. You are important. You yourself are important. And if you're okay, everybody else around you is okay.
Love that advice. So I'll close for anyone listening here, I'll close on this note. Again, for anyone interested, please go to refocusonhappiness.com. Just click speak to Lance. That's me. And yeah, listen, for everyone listening to this here, there are no guarantees in life. You go to Harvard, that does not guarantee $1 million year job, but going to Harvard does shift the odds in your favor tremendously. And one of the biggest regrets, anyone listening here, this is not to you, Marianne, one of the biggest regrets anyone would experience in life is knowing there was a better way, but you failed to act.
Yes.
Everyone here listening to this deserves to shift the odds in your favor. And if something is not so gently nudging you to shift the odds in your favor here, because this message resonates, we need to speak as soon as possible.
Yes.
You do not want to have the regret of knowing there's a better way, but you failed to act. Or my other great phrases, one of my other favorite phrases in life, the best defense is a great offense. Don't let things get worse and worse and worse. It's time to go on the fucking offensive. Let's get to it. So we'd love to speak to anyone here this resonates with. And yes, 6 weeks can make a much bigger difference than you think. I'm not going to solve everything in 6 weeks, but I'll give you some real momentum and a true knowing that there is absolutely a real skill conditioning muscle within you just never had before. I always tell people, I don't, at the end of the day, if someone's never gone to the gym before, would it really be fair to tell people that they have a muscle problem, a muscle syndrome, small muscle syndrome, childhood muscle trauma? Or the truth is, did you just never go to the gym before? When it comes to your emotional conditioning, everyone here listening to this here, you might find out in the most practical way, you had a different kind of muscle you never knew you had before, but you can't read about it. Just like in the gym, the classic gym, you need the workout. So for anyone here that'd like to feel a lot better, faster, quicker, stronger, let's have a conversation.
And you deserve it.
You do. Yeah. And that's a question for everyone here listening here is, if there's a better way right in front of you, do you think you're worth it? Do you think you deserve it? If the answer is yes, let's have a conversation. Marianne, thank you so much.
Definitely.
Really appreciate it. Thank you for sharing your experience.
Of course. I am glad to.